Welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and I apologize I haven't been on for a bit. I have been busy all week writing my GED, and I have to say that I have passed my GED, my high school equivalent. I'm a high school grad. That's right. It only took until I was, 50-some years old to get it, but went back and got it. Did pretty well. Had some fun. Crushed it on 3 of the tests out of the 5. Not 100%, 98%, 96%. Then I got a 72 and a 67 to round it off. Damn math. Anyway, I still passed. Still walking on cloud 9 today because I'm damn happy. I left school in grade 8. I was dumb. I was an idiot. I should have stayed. And if you are in school right now, finish it off. Finish off school. Education is highly important. All right, so what we're going to talk about here today is we're going to talk about this big black bag. And this big black bag is kind of iteration 2.0. I had some tools in it. I was building my everyday carry bag, and I ended up getting sidetracked and lost track of it and decided to rebuild it. And I've added some new stuff and moved some stuff around. But let's go over. This goes inside my X-Maxpedition bag, or I can take it and throw it in a car. I can carry it separately, but normally I keep it in my backpack. And it's kind of like my big everyday carry bag, because I like to be super well prepared. All right, so let's go to the tabletop and let's have a look there, folks. All right, so, and this is not just like an expensive bag or anything like that. This is a really, I think it's like a dollar store bag. Let's just make sure that I've got lots of room here. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is let's get this out of the way here. I've got just a simple Ziploc freezer bag. And inside there, I have got some earplugs. I've got a mask. I've got a couple of tea bags from Tim Hortons and some dental floss. So you just never know when that's going to come in handy. And I think I'm going to try to find some needles to put inside there, because you can use this dental floss to sew too as well. And that's the one thing I don't have in here is some needles to sew with. I've also got a straw in there, and it's not really in there to be a straw, although it can work as a straw. Oh, there's the one part right there. The other part is right here. And so what this other part is it's actually got some Gorilla tape on it, which is the duct tape, and it's also got some of this other tape here, which is a high tensile strength tape. It's like a wire loom tape or like a cloth tape. You cannot tear this by hand. You have to cut it. It is so strong. And I've got about probably 10 feet of the Gorilla tape on there and about 20 feet of this on there. And I cut a straw in half, and that's what I used. And I'm going to tuck that in there too as well, because that's kind of where it should be. And then I've also got a flashlight, and this here is a very simple. It takes a double A battery. So this is a rechargeable battery. It's not anything that's super exotic. It'll also take another rechargeable lithium 1470 battery, I think is what it's called. But it's just a tail switch on off, and then it's got some different dim levels. And I can't remember. I ended up getting this off of Mass Drop, and then on it I also put on a really kind of a heavy duty chain, so I can ride it around my neck if I have to. And I think that, dropped my bag here. I think I'm going to probably put that inside here too as well, just to kind of keep it all together when I tuck it back in here. Now the other thing that I have inside this everyday carry bag is some Gorilla Glue Super Glue. This stuff is fantastic. I always carry this with me. Now, I used to carry a product that I sold as a Worth rep called Club Fix. And since I've been off work, I haven't been able to get a fresh supply. So I ended up getting some Gorilla Glue. Now, you can get this in a couple different ways. Now, how I decided to get this is I get it in the gel. And the gel seems to work, I think, I think it works way better than the more liquidy stuff, because it seems to stay in place. A lot of times when you're gluing something, you want the glue to stay in place. And Crazy Glue or Super Glue or Cryocyanolate glue, it runs a lot. And this stuff with the gel, it stays exactly where you want it to do. Plus, it's thick enough that you can build a little bit of a bridge if you want to. And if you, a little bit of a DIY tip here with this, any sort of cryocyanolate glue, is if you need to have it stick faster or bridge a gap, use a little bit of baking soda, throw it on top there, with your finger, and it'll mix it in there, and it'll create like a really nice hard, like a plastic. Not only that, it'll dry faster. Or if you happen to have a little spray bottle like this with some alcohol in it, that will also help it cure faster too as well. So that goes in there. The other thing I have in there is a nice little fire starter here. And this one here happens to have magnesium strip on it with a ferro rod on the side. And it's got a little scraper that it comes with. You could also use this here as almost like a little bow divot if you have a bow drill. And you can use this to scrape and use kindling too as well. If you don't want to use up your magnesium, you can scrape your magnesium. You can see I've used it. Or I can also scrape that and make some tinder out of that too as well to start a fire. Now I do have a lighter, just a Bic lighter that's in my bag in a different spot, but it can go in there too as well. And of course I've got a field book with a pen on it, and I love this pen. This pen here I ended up getting, again, off a Mass Drop, and it's just I like the shape of this, and it's got a little magnetic, and it's very comfortable to write. Even though you wouldn't think of it, it is great. You can get this pen in like a titanium too, but I just got the aluminum version that I think was $30 or so. But with the field book here, I like having the graph paper book because it allows you to draw maps a lot nicer and easier than lined or even without. So that seems to be my preference. And the other thing I have in here is I have a Skin So Soft bug guard. So you never know if you're in the bush or someplace and you need, the bugs are bugging you. You can take this and wipe this on your face, your clothes, and you can get rid of the mosquitoes and at least get some sort of relief from them. And I also threw in there a piece of tinfoil, heavy gauge tinfoil. You just never know. It's just one of these emergency things that will, I think, come in very, very handy if you need it. So that can go back in there, and I'm going to throw my, oh goodness, I'm butterfingers here today. And if you're Canadian and you go to Tim Hortons, if you order tea, so I don't drink tea, but in a pinch, if I was in the bush and I was stuck, I, of course, would drink tea because it can, A, give you energy, but also, B, it'll give you a morale boost. To have that little bit of protein going in your stomach that tastes, a lot better than just, say, stream water. And it'll warm you up, too, as well. But like I was saying, with this tea here, or these Earl Grey tea bags, if you go to Tim Hortons and you order a large tea, and you say you'd like, because my wife drinks tea, so she always says, order it as one bag in and one bag out, because a large Earl Grey comes with 2 tea bags. So what she does is she just leaves her one tea bag in there to steep, and she takes the other tea bag and she puts it in her purse. And if she happens to be someplace and she wants a cup of tea, Bob's your uncle, she's got some tea bags. So I've thrown that in there, not only for myself, but for my wife too as well, because my wife can be a real bear if she doesn't get some tea once in a while, or a banana. If I could keep a banana in here, I would. Just because, man, women get hangry. I know I get hangry too as well, but I don't want to kill somebody when I get angry. And then the other thing I have in here is I just bought a little first aid kit. And this is a little dollar store first aid kit, and I mostly got it because I wanted this little case. And after kind of reviewing this for some more, I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably taking some of the Band-Aids and stuff, some of the little pads here, and getting like a little Altoids tin and making it a little bit more waterproof with, say, a Ranger band around it. But for the meantime, this will do. Although I think it's a little bit too much space in here, and the case itself is not very good quality, and I think I will get something a little bit easier and a little bit nicer to use than just this case here. Now, the other main tools I have here are, I have one of my favorite multi-tools, which is my Leatherman Surge. And the reason I picked this Leatherman Surge is because it's big, it's heavy duty, and and it's larger than the Victorinox that I have right now. And that's where I think this comes in a little more handy than the Victorinox, is the fact that it's got such a wide grip on it, wider than the Victorinox if you have to get a hold of something that's larger. And that's pretty much the only reason. And the other thing is it's got a really, really big set of scissors. Now these scissors here are fantastic, and they're a large set. That's what I like about them. And the fact that I could also use my ratchet too as well with it. And I've got some extra blades in the back where I can cut some, metal blades or hacksaw blades I can put inside there. So there we go. And then the other thing I have in there for tool-wise is another Leatherman product, because there's nothing quite like this. And of course here, well, let's get this out of the way because it's in there. And this is just my little bit driving set with the... Everybody seems to love this bit driver, and I actually took it and I ground down the edge so it'll fit inside my Leatherman too as well. I also comes with a normal one, but what everybody seems to like about this one here is the fact that you can use it when you've got something small. Let's just go here, and you put it inside there. It's got a little button that you push it, and it opens up so you can remove your bit a lot easier. Everybody seems to really, really love those. And the company that I used to work for, and I still do work for them, I can't say I used to. I just don't know what my role is going to be with the company after my next surgery. But it comes from Worth Canada. That's the company that sells those is Worth. And the other thing I have in here is my Leatherman Crunch. And I got to say, I am so impressed with, and I also have a couple more Band-Aids inside there. I am so impressed with this Leatherman Crunch. It is an unbelievable set of pliers. As you can see here, it's a locking set of pliers. Now this here will actually scroll down here to allow the jaws to open up and close. And it just gives you the ability to not only use them as like a set of pliers, but to lock them into position too as well. Because, like I said, you are not going to believe how many times this has come in so handy where I've, locked onto something and I don't seem to have them on properly. I haven't used them in a little bit, but I have used them especially at hotels. Here we go. There we go. At hotels, I like having a nice, refreshing shower. And some hotels have got water restrictors in there so bad you have to run around in circles just to be able to get something to get wet. And if you've got these, you're able to, especially these here, because they open up so wide, you can use them to open up a shower to get rid of the water regulator. And I just don't seem to be connecting with these here too well all of a sudden. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I've used these quite a bit. You can see how they're opening up the jaws. Huh. Yeah, something's going on here. Not really. Yeah, something's not working here out. They don't seem to be latching into place. Well, normally these things are kick-ass. It also comes with some extra tools too as well here. You can get yourself a little bit of a file, and get yourself a serrated edge, and of course you're going to have yourself a Phillips, a true Phillips screw, as well as a little pry kind of scraper flathead bit too in there too as well. And it's kind of small, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be. I'll have to have a look at this and see what I'm doing wrong, but it normally works tickety-boo, and then it just locks up into such a small shape. I've never had any issues with this, and I've used it several times. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong here right this second, but it is a great tool. All right, so let's put that away. So what else we got in there that's handy? Of course, we've got this little tool here. And this is another one here that comes from the company that I work for, Worth. And all it is just a little ratchet for your bit set too as well. So it's a low profile thing. So if you need to get some real good torque on a ratchet, or even using this ratchet here if you need to kind of put it over top, so you need to really have some extra strength, you can use this too as well. Fantastic little tool. Not very expensive either. Just a 1/4 inch driver. And then of course, another thing that I've got in here that's been fantastic is just a hotel mending kit. Comes with a couple of needles in there, comes with some thread, a button, some safety pins, and what else I put in there is I put some Q-tips, because you just never know when you're going to need a Q-tip. You get some in your eye, get some in your ear, and you never need when you're going to know when you need to sew a button back on, and you've got it right here in this little bag. And these are free. Like if you go to hotels, if you don't use it, you see it sitting there in sometimes in the bathroom, and they got their little toiletries and stuff, mending kit, or you can even get a shoe shine kit and stuff like that. Most times those stuff are free, and just throw it in your bag and then throw it in your everyday carry, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. So that's what I've got going on. I will probably add a few more things in there as I come along, and I think I will put an Altoids tin in there, because this case is just not very solid at all. And I will tuck that in there. And of course this all completely zips up too as well. Now, if you liked what you saw, please give me the thumbs up as well as subscribe. I appreciate it so much. We're getting close to 1,000, and like I said, when I hit 1,000, I'm going to be doing my what I've got, my entire knife collection. I've had people ask me about it, but it's going to happen when I get my whole knife collection. Now, please stay safe out there. We're not in the woods. Keep your stick on the ice. The shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.